Deck the halls with boughs of holly. 'Tis the season to be jolly.
Hi guys, it's Shell with Creative Shell Bear. Today we're going to do some Christmas cards using the scraps from other projects. I made a whole bunch of little like mini albums, and I have tons of little scraps, and they're not that big. So I thought the perfect way to use them is use them on greeting cards. So let me show you what I'm going to do. I started with an A2 card, and then I found this little scrap in my scrap box, and it's not quite large enough, but I want to go ahead and use it. So I'm going to go ahead and just trim off my card. And there's really no measuring in this. Just kind of going to, use what you have and make what you have fit, and that's the whole, the whole thing of this. I'm going to go ahead and trim off this edge over here just a touch. This card base was also in my stash, and it's a little bit, not perfectly folded. But like I said, we're just going to make what we have work. So I just want a small border all the way around, and that's like perfect. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside, and we're going to work on this. And so what you just need all your scraps. Pick out some colors that you think would go together and make them work. My goal is to have a dark blue border all the way around, and then we're going to cut our scraps down kind of like a patchwork quilt. So I'm just going to kind of guess, just kind of measure it with my fingernail. And then I'm just going to cut it down. What I like about this is, if you do have tons of scraps, you can make this not just for Christmas cards, but you can make it for birthday cards, for thinking of you. Just use your scraps and just put it together like a puzzle or like a little patchwork quilt. So I have this big one. I think I'm going to do that about right there. And I want to leave just a little bit of a gap in between them. And then, like I said, I'm just kind of doing a little crease and then going and cutting. I mean, if you don't cut it correctly, it's not that big of a deal. As long as you make it fit. If it doesn't fit, put it in another place on your card. It's kind of the same as that. I really like that though. Let's put this little guy right here. I'm gonna crease it. And then of course, save your other scraps that you get from this, because you can make more. Like on this one I have 2. So what I'm going to do is I'll save this one for another card. Let's see what else we have. We have this little piece right here. I'm going to go ahead and cut that and use that for... Sorry, I've kind of been missing in action. I ended up with a bad abscess tooth, and it was so bad I couldn't even talk. I couldn't open my mouth to talk, so that's why I was kind of missing last week. But it's much better. I got it pulled and got my antibiotics in me, and they're doing pretty good. Okay, so I like how that looks. So it doesn't use up a whole bunch of scraps, but it does use, quite a bit. And like this one, it's kind of wintry, so it doesn't have to even be a Christmas card. It could be a thank you card or a birthday card for someone in the winter. So I'm just going to go ahead and just glue it down using some of my art glitter glue. hopefully little. That's kind of coming out pretty quick. And I don't have the best, I'm not using the best paper trimmer. So my edges can be a little bit rough. So just trim it as needed. And what makes this pop, you can leave it, you know, like this. But I'm going to show you something that I think really makes it. Put that there so you can see it while I'm gluing. Okay, so we're just going to glue all that down, leaving about the same, you know, edge on either side, all the way around it. You can use a dry glue here if you want. I just didn't really have one, so I was kind of out. Oops, I did something wrong. Okay, this one goes here. This one goes here. Okay. Okay, so I got it all glued down. So now let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull some white. Actually, I think I might pull some brown from my cardstock. Let me see what I have. Here's some brown. And I'm going to do some stamping on this. I'm using some stamps from May Made It. And I believe it's called Teddy Bear Lane. I'll put a link to that below. Okay, so I have my hat. And I am going to... Let me show you what else is in there. Here's the teddy bear, and then it has a bunch of little sayings and a little hat and scarf and stuff like that. It's really cute. Okay, so I'm going to find my black ink. Okay, and I'm just using my archival black ink. And let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to ink up my hat, because we're going to put him on our teddy bear. I'm going to kind of get him over here, because we're going to have to cut this down for the front of our card. Okay. So we got the hat cut down, and what you need to do is make a mask. And what I did, and I'll show you real quick, is I just used a Post-it note. So you're going to take your Post-it note and go down to where it's really where it's sticky, and then you're just going to go ahead and stamp on that where it's sticky, and then you're just going to cut that out. And then when you cut it out, you have your little mask. You can tell I've used this one before. I've been practicing. So we have our little mask. I'm going to get me a baby wipe over here. Just use a baby wipe to clean off your stamps. I try to do that pretty quickly, because otherwise it really stains them. Okay, and I'm going to take that hat off, and I'm going to put on our little teddy bear. And then I'm just going to ink him up using the same archival black ink. Try to get really good ink on it. Okay, and this was the hardest part for me earlier, so we'll see how we do. What I want to do is I want his little ears to go right between, or pretty close to between the hat. So I'm going to do it right there. And then you just want to press it down, make sure you have really good pressure on it. And then we'll hope that it came out okay. It's not the darkest, but it doesn't look too bad. And then when you pull your mask off, see his little hat? Isn't that cute? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut him out. I want him to fit on our the front of our page. So let me show you what I'm going to do. Get him cut out. See, there he is. Isn't he cute? He's so cute. Okay. So before I cut out or did a little red hat and I embossed it. So I'm going to cut that out now. I just embossed it using a black embossing. Actually, I can tell you exactly what kind it is. Detail Black Embossing Powder is all it says. I got that from my mom this year. If you're doing, you know, a hat, you can paper piece it if you want. I was practicing earlier, and so I still had this little hat left. And I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and use it. If you're going to do that, you don't even have to, you know, mask off the teddy bear. You can just put the hat right on top of him. I was going to paper piece it, and then I realized I still had this, so thought I would go ahead and use him. Okay, so he's about cut out. It's kind of hard to get it perfect with these. I need a little bit tiny scissors, tinier scissors. Okay, so let me show you what I'm going to do now. I'm just using a black pen, and I'm just going to go around the where I cut. And what that does is it just makes it look more complete. Kind of covers up anything that you didn't do perfectly. Kind of hard to get in there. Okay. And now, of course, I need to add the white. So I will be right back. Out since he's just, you know, a lot of brown. And I took my gel pen, and I have like a silver gel pen. And after I cut out the hat, I went ahead and colored in so that it's white. And then that will go on top of that and give it a little bit of dimension. Isn't that adorable? So I just need to find a little bit of blue that I have that he will, you know, go on. I think I'm going to use that one. And I'm just going to do a little square that he will fit on. Let's see. Okay, and what he'll do is he'll sit right here in the middle of our, let me move some of this out of the way, of our card. And he will sit there like this. Isn't that cute? So I'm going to glue him down. Oops. I'm going to go ahead and put the hat on. You could pop that up if you wanted to. I just chose not to. Isn't he cute? I'm going to go ahead and trim this down just a touch. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and back that with some white, just to kind of make him stand out a little bit more. He kind of blends in so much to the background. So I think that will work a little bit better. Getting a mess on my glitter glue, can't figure it out. Isn't that cute? I'm going to go ahead and kind of brighten his eyes a little bit. It's kind of got really, he's not very, kind of brighten him up just a touch. His nose. There, I think that helped a little bit. Isn't that cute? He's so cute. Okay, so now I'm just going to put a little bit of, actually, I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of ribbon around the, I have silver ribbon, just to kind of give it a little bit more glam, you know. Make it a little bit more glamorous. So I'm just going to kind of do it about 2/3 up. I'm just going to use some double stick tape. And this will help me get the ribbon, you know, exactly where I need it to go. You want to do this before you put on your center part. Otherwise, you may not, it might go over the center part. So you kind of just want to go, you know, put it where you want it, and then just kind of flip it over. There we go. A little bit long. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and glue this down to our card base, and then we will put our teddy bear on. There we go. And then he's going right here, and I'm just going to use some foam adhesive. You don't need a whole lot, just, you know, 2 or 3 pieces. Use this bigger piece. And he cute. Okay, and I put "Have a Very Merry Christmas" on the inside. And then this is our finished card. Isn't that so adorable? And it's just using scraps. You know, you don't have to use anything special. It's just using scraps. And then you just do a focal point, and that makes your card. Isn't that cute? Let me show you this other one I did. The traditional Christmas colors. I put my ribbon, and then what I did is I stamped this Christmas tree using Versamark, and I embossed it with the silver embossing powder. Isn't that pretty? And I love, you know, just the statement that it gives. Thank you to all my new subscribers. I really appreciate you guys, and come back Wednesday for another crafting tutorial. Thank you guys so much for watching, and you guys have a great day.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly. 'Tis the season to be jolly.